All right, good afternoon. I thought I would try and do a quick roundup thank you on behalf of myself, but is also on behalf of the Chasing Squirrels podcast. I had an incredible, I'm going to call it first season, but I started it this semester back in January, and as we come to the end of June, I had just a phenomenal list of really interesting individuals that were willing to share their stories with me and hash out some of my ideas about education. And really, it's really difficult to give a clear measurement of the kind of distance I've come in my thinking about education, but also it's really difficult to measure the full appreciation, or the fuller appreciation, I guess, I have around how big the ED universe actually is. And when I when I started mapping out what this podcast could be, it's funny, my initial stages were quite rigid, and my approach was more investigative. And I realized quite quickly, actually right after episode 1, to be truthful, after I spoke with Jen Giffen, that I felt quite quickly that just couldn't be my style in order to get to the conversation and to get to that comfort zone where you felt like you were talking about something real, that to have a staged set of questions ahead of time really started to make me feel almost like I was betraying the authenticity of the conversation. And also, as a colleague of mine has said previously, it's a little bit like putting someone on blast. And really, for someone to donate their time to me, and sometimes we spoke for an hour, sometimes we talked for 30 minutes. Some of the shorter podcasts were 15, 20. That's still time in other people's busy lives. And in order to honor it, I figured I had to loosen that up a little bit. And you know what? I think the podcast and I think the conversations were better for it. So just here comes the big shout out. And again, I am so happy, so honored that all these individuals shared their time with me. But big thank yous go out to Jen Giffen, Derek Rodenizer, Jocelyn Curvin, Andrew McClure, or Andy McClure, Royan Lee, AJ Gonzalez, Diana Dansu, Elif Kanak, Will Gurley, Roland Chidiak, Jillian Stambolich, Debbie Donsky, Pam Agua, Jonathan So, Teresa Meikle, and Jay Dubois. Also, I'd like to give a ton of thanks to Christine Chin, Stephen Hurley, Tina Zita, Kim Polishuk, and Aviva Dunziger. After I had put in a few episodes of the full Chasing Squirrels podcast, I thought, I'll try and do a smaller version of it where I started putting out there a Squirrels Lab that was just focused on creative tools that made educators feel like they were really developing or honing or expanding their craft. So I'm definitely going to continue with that. So someone asked me, is there going to be more squirrels over the summer? I hope so. It's all in availability. It's all in interest. But by all means, I am going to keep posting up. I really have come to enjoy this as part of my reflective practice. And I just really do dig getting into the mix on topics and finding about what education looks like from different jurisdictions. So just to look at it from my school board is a singularity that I don't think I can go back to. Of course it's important, of course it's my home front, of course that it's necessary for me to learn about what's going on here. But I think in the broader picture, the larger story of education as how it's moving within the region and the province, and I'm hoping to sort of get a little bit more of a nationwide flavor in season 2, if that's what we're going to call it, season 2. So yeah, can only say thank you once more. Honored that you would spend your time with me, and definitely any of the individuals on my podcast, you got to check them out. Hit them up with questions. Follow up with them and see what they're doing. Many of them blog. Many of them are posting up really cool classroom experiences and accelerating and amplifying student voice. Well worthwhile to listen to even just some bits and pieces. Look at the playlist just so you can see the phenomenal people that are doing amazing work in education right now. Thank you, and have a fantastic summer.